Today, I will teach you how to make this easy website using HTML and CSS. First things first, we need to go get an IDE. An IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. That basically means that your program looks like this instead of this. So let's go get one. First thing you need to do is go to your preferred browser minus Chrome and type in brackets.io. Then press the download button. Wait for it to download and open it up. Next thing you want to do is open your brackets application. Now that your bracket application has opened, you'd want to make a new folder. Click Get Started, Open Folder, then create a new folder. Let's call it Example. Click Open. Now that you have your example folder open, you'd want to make one file called index.html. Index.html, index basically just means it's going to be our home page. Next, we're going to click New Folder, and let's call it CSS. CSS is just a way of making your website look nice. Okay, so now we're going to open this CSS folder, and you see there's nothing in it. So let's create another file. Let's call it stylesheet.css. Next, drag your stylesheet.css into your CSS folder. Alright, so what does HTML stand for? Well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. CSS stands for Cascadian Style Sheet. So what that basically means is HTML is like the body of the website. It's what actual text comes out as. But CSS makes the website look like this instead of this. Alright, so let's actually write some code. So just follow me and you'll be writing a very easy and simple HTML website. If you guys are wondering how I do that so quickly, whenever you open a HTML or header or whatever you would like, all you have to do to close it really quickly is you open two arrows and between you put the slash sign and it automatically closes it for you, alright? So let's make a title for our website. So it's very simple. All you're gonna have to do is open two arrows, title, and then close it. Whatever you put in between here is going to be the title of your website. I want my title to be Home Birds because our website's gonna be about birds. So if you want to run your code, it's very simple. All you're gonna have to do is press this lightning bolt on your top right corner. So wait for it to fully load, and now you could see that our title is at the top here, as you could see. So now you're wondering, how do we actually write some code or write something on our website? That's very simple. All we're gonna have to do is make a body. So open it, close it, and whatever you put in between here is going to be what's on the website. So header 1, also known as H1, is just going to be our title, let's say, right? For our website. So I want my title to be birds, right? So now you could see that when we load our website, you'll see that there's birds, right? Very cool, very simple. Now let's write something underneath, like a paragraph. Paragraph in HTML is just P, right? It's very simple. So birds are cool. It's very easy to write whatever you'd like. This is not very hard. It's very simple HTML. So now that you could see, we have birds, and birds are cool. Before we get any further, I would recommend for any kids watching to go and get this book off the internet. It's Nanonuts. It just teaches you the basics of HTML and CSS. Alright, so now that you see this website, it looks kind of plain. There's no background or anything. So let's go link our style sheet. So our style sheet is right here. It's in the folder CSS, and it's called stylesheet.css. So where you're going to want to link it is right under your title, right? If you ever want to link anything, any type of folder, file, or anything, you're always going to want to link it in between the head. Alright, so to link it is very simple. You're going to have to write link, rel. This is going to say that it's a style sheet. So rel is just means that what type is it? It's a style sheet, right? Type. And we're going to have to make it so it's CSS because it's written out in CSS. So ref just means where is this folder or file. So in CSS and it's in style sheet. Alright, now that we have our style sheet, we're going to actually want to write code inside our style sheet. Alright, so now let's take this disgusting looking website and let's make it a bit nicer with our style sheet. So first things first, you're going to have to make the body of the website. And for the height, I would recommend making it 100%, so maximum. Width, also 100%. And for the background color, you guys could choose whatever you'd like. But I'm going to choose none of these like aquamarine, none of these words. But I'm actually going to use a hex code. A hex code is just another way to expand the color of what you have for your availability. So if you want to use the hex code, you just have to do hashtag. My hex code is FF856B. This is my background color that I'm going to be using. And this is the hex code if you guys like to copy it. Alright, so now that you can see this, like this birds and birds are cool, our title and our paragraph are not very stylish. They're black, their font color is kind of like ugly. So if you guys would like to change that, it's very simple, alright? So you guys could see that for the title, we use header 1, so it's H1. So all you'd have to do is type in H1 in your style sheet, open your curly brackets, close them, and then you could make the color of it white. And that'll make it white. I'd recommend doing white if you're using a background color. It's a bit hard to see if the header or the paragraph are black. I would recommend making the font family. Font family just means whatever the font is. You could always import fonts from different websites, or if you ever downloaded a font, you can always import them. I'll make a separate video on that subject. But for today, I'm going to be using the sans serif. Alright. Now that you can see the birds, it's sort of small for a title, don't you think? So we're going to make it bigger by font size, and we're gonna calculate it in pixels. I'll put a single pixel up on screen right now that you could see. So what a pixel is basically just a square full of color, and images that you found on the internet or any digital image use millions of these. So whenever you see images, it's just millions of pixels that create the image. So let's make it 60 pixels. I sort of like that. And now that you can see, this is quite nice for now, right? But this birds are cool is still the same. So it's kind of ugly for now. So let's change that. It's very simple. As you can see, it's P for paragraph, and we'll do the exact same thing. P, open, curly brackets, and all you'd have to do is font, family. Let's use sans serif, the same thing. Let's color of the text, let's make it white. And let's, now that you can see, I like the size of both of these. I like how they're nice and colorful. They're not black anymore, they're white, so it's a bit nicer. So now let's center these, this text in the header. That's very easy to do. If you ever want to center anything in HTML without using CSS, yes, you could always use CSS, by centering, or even just like moving your, whatever your text is or your image. You can always move that in CSS, but for now we're trying to keep it a bit more basic. So we're going to center it by doing open two arrows, center, open two arrows, slash, and now you can see it's centered. Let's do the exact same thing with the P for paragraph, center, and let's close it. Alright, so now that we have our title and our paragraph looking quite nice, we're going to want to import an image. So, as you can see, we have our bird picture in our folder. So if you ever want to import an image, it's very simple. All you're going to have to write is open two arrows, image, then you're going to write the source, where you get it from. So mine is birds.jpg. If it's ever in a folder, then let's say it's in the CSS folder, you're going to write CSS and then slash, and then what kind of picture it is. So you just put the name in here, and if you ever want to name the image, you just have alt and then like bird picture. You won't actually see it, but like if anybody that ever goes to inspect it, you always like see it. It's very useless, but I like to do it from time to time. So now that our bird image is also on the left side, let's center it. So it's very simple to center it. Just center and close it. So now that it's centered, you can see birds are cool, and our picture, right? For the rest of this tutorial, I'll split it up into two parts because it'll take too long if it's all in one part. Alright? I'll leave a link in the description to go see the second part.